Oh, hi friends. So welcome to our third lesson on transformation of a square. And today we are going to look at one of the last steps here for figuring out what this actually equals and how to find those answers. Okay, everybody, let's look at this transform square that we did in a previous lesson. What I've done is I've gone ahead and cut it up. If you have squares that you've made already that you would like to cut up, you may, but you don't have to, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it piece by piece, and we're going to break down the writing, okay? All right, so I have 3 squared plus 6 times 3 plus 6 times 3 plus 6 squared. Okay, so we can see that we have each individual shape placed in our number sentence. Now, do you see anything here that is exactly the same? What if we did this? Do you see something that's the same? Yeah. These two are the same. So each one of these pieces is called a term in our number sentence. It's a term. And what we want to do is we want to combine or put together like terms. That means terms that are the same. So we need to put terms that are the same together. We need to combine like terms. So since those are the same, I'm going to combine them. I can actually get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down. So I have 3 squared plus, now I have 6 times 3. But here is my question. How many of those do I have? I have 2. 1, 2. So I'm going to put a 2 right there. Okay, so what this says is we have 6 times 3, 2 times. So 2 times 6 times 3 is what we have. Plus 6 squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what each of these terms equals. We always start with our rectangles. We always start figuring out how much is in each of these rectangles. So I'm not going to do my square yet. I'm going to come inside these parentheses because I want to know how much one of these rectangles equals. 6 times 3. What is 6 times 3? 18. Okay, plus 6 squared. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to take care of our squares. We need to figure out how much 3 squared is and how much 6 squared is. So how much is 3 squared? Well, that means 3 times 3, right? 3 times 1, 2, 3. That's 9. We're not gonna take care of this yet because we gotta get both the squares first. What does 6 squared equal? That's gonna equal 36. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out how much these two rectangles are together, both of them. So we have 9 plus 2, 18. So we have 18 one time and 18 two times. What are 2 18s? Well, 8 plus 8 is what? It's 16. You're going to carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 36 plus, oh, look at that. 36 again. So now I need to do a big addition problem. 36 plus 36 plus 9. You see I write it very carefully so that all of my categories line up correctly. If that's still hard for you, I'm going to tell you you should be using graph paper, okay? It's really important that those categories are lined up. Without lining up those categories, it's really hard to get your correct answer. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 9 is 21. 2 plus 3, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. So we have the answer of 81. Okay, and let's put this square back together real quick. Remember, we took a 9 square and we transformed it. See, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the square of 9 equals 81, okay? So we can sometimes know the answer of our transformed square before we do all this math. However, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for you to have these parts and to be able to break it down step by step to find your answer. Now, this is the same problem written over and over again. It's just every time I do a step and I write it down a little bit differently. The reason it is important to start doing your math like this, especially math like this, is because since it is more complex and it does have more steps, if you write down every single step and you do make a mistake, you can find where your mistake is much easier if you see your whole process on the paper. So that's really important, is to start practicing writing down all of your work. We call that showing your work. So we're going to show our work for every single example we do in this lesson so that you can see each step and what we did in each step, okay? So I have another square. Let's go ahead and work on that. Okay, so here's one of our squares where we were able to find 3 squares inside. This is another 9 squares, so we're going to be looking for our answer again to be 81. So knowing that is going to help us make sure that we get our math right. We have a 2 square, a 3 square, a 4 square, and then a whole bunch of rectangles. So we're going to go ahead and put these out with plus signs. We have 2 squared plus, here's the next one, 3 times 2 plus 4 times 2 plus, well, look here, we have another 2 times 3. We know that's the same as this, right? So I'm just going to right away go ahead and put it there. Then we have plus 3 squared. Ooh, I am running out of room. Plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times 4. Well, we have a 4 times 2 here. We know that's the same. So I'm going to put those together. Plus 3 times 4, look, we already have one of those. I'll put it there, plus 4 squared. We don't have another one of those. So you see how when you color it the same color, we did that for a good reason, didn't we? We can easily see which ones are exactly the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this. We have 2 squared plus, how many 2 times 3's do we have? 2. So I'm going to put a 2 and then put my rectangles in my parentheses, plus how many 2 times 4's or 4 times 2's do we have? 2. 4 times 2 plus 3 squared plus, we have how many of these? 2. These are 3 times 4 plus 4 squared. Okay, so again, the thing we want to take care of first is our rectangles. Okay, that's the thing we're going to do first. So we can just leave our 2 squared plus 2. Now what is 3 times 2? That's 6. What is 4 times 2? 8. Plus 3 squared plus 2 times 3 times 4. What is 3 times 4? It's 12 plus 4 squared. Okay? So now, after we take care of the inside of our parentheses, we have to do our exponents. So I'm just going to underline anywhere we have exponents. And that's going to be the second thing we work out. So 2 squared, what is 2 squared equal? Well, that means 2 times 2, right? Which is 4. So 4 plus 2 times 6 plus 2 times 8 plus, what's 3 squared equal? 9 plus 2 times 12 plus 4 squared. What is 4 squared equal? 4 times 4. It's 16. So there we go. We did our second step. Now we need to do any multiplication that's left. We need to multiply our 2 by within the parentheses. Okay. So we have 4 plus, what is 2 times 6? 12 plus 2 times 8? 16 plus 9 plus 2 times 12. 12 plus 12. 24 plus 16. Now we have to do one big addition problem. So again, I'm going to stack these. 4, 12, 16, 9, 24, 16. Again, I'm being very careful to make sure all of my units are lined up and all my tens are lined up. Let's go ahead and do this addition problem. We have 4 plus 2 is what? 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 9 is 21. 21 plus 4 is 25. And 25 plus 6 is 31. 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. And there we go. We got 81. And we know this started as a 9 square, and 9 squared equals 81. So that means that we did all the parts correctly. Okay, so we already know the answer ahead of time. It's not necessarily about finding the answer. It's about making sure that we're writing down our parts correctly. Namely, this part up here. Okay, we're going to do this bigger one. So I'm going to place these as I cut them out. So we have 3 squared plus, the next one is 5 times 3 plus 4 times 3. Okay, we're going to come down here. We have a 3 times 5. Have we already seen that? Yeah, we have, haven't we? Right here. I'm going to put it there. So I have to add my plus sign. Then we have a 5 squared. We haven't seen a 5 squared yet, have we? No, not yet. So we can put that there. Plus 4 times 5. We haven't seen one of those yet. No. Okay. Plus 3 times 4. 3 times 4 and 4 times 3 is the same thing. Plus 5 times 4, which we can see right here. And then plus 4 squared. All right. So let's write this down. We have 3 squared plus, how many of these do we have? 2. And these are 5 times 3s. Plus 2 4 times 3s plus 5 squared plus how many? 2 4 times 5s plus 4 squared. All right. So we have to start with our rectangles. That's the first thing we're going to figure out. So 3 squared plus, what is 5 times 3? 15 plus 2 times 4 times 3. 12 plus 5 squared plus 2 times 4 times 5. What is 4 times 5? 20 plus 4 squared. Cool. Now we need to do our exponents. What is 3 squared? 3 times 3. That's 9. Plus 2 times 15. Plus 2 times 12. Plus 5 squared. What is 5 squared? 5 times 5. 25 plus 2 times 20 plus 4 squared. 4 squared is 4 times 4. That equals 16. All right. Now we need to do our multiplication problems. Oopsies. So we have 9 plus, what is 2 times 15? Five plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1, we get 30. Plus 2 times 12. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 25 plus 2 times 20. Well, what's 2 times 2? 4. How many zeros do we need to add? 1 plus 16. All right, so now we just need to do a big addition problem. So 9 plus 30 plus 24 plus 25 plus 40 plus 16. All right, here we go. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. Okay. So when we put our square back together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. We made the square of 12. And you know what? 12 squared equals 144. All right. Well, cool. This is our basic writing and figuring out the math. Like I said, seeing these parts is really important. Let's see, how many parts did we have in this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we had 6 parts when we did a square that has 3 squares, and these are called trinomials. Let's see if our other trinomial had that many parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. So our trinomials both had 6 parts. What about our binomials? Here's one of our binomials. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's one of them. And here's our other binomial. 1, 2, 3. So a binomial, once we put all of our like terms together, has 3 parts. A trinomial has 6 parts. How many parts do you think a quadrinomial has? Fascinating question. A quadrinomial, what do you think I mean by that? 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 5 square. That is a quadrinomial. Look at that. A little hard to see because they're not colored. But I have 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and 5 squared. That's all I'm going to show you. If you would like to try to figure out the rest of this, go ahead. You'll fill in your rectangles, right? Cut them out or just write it down, but don't forget to combine like terms. You remember? Remember combining your like terms, 2 times 3 times 2's, okay? See how many pieces you come up with after you've solved the problem. What is this? Is a square of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a square of 14. Okay, so I want you to give it a try. See what you figure out. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.